Listen, there's a movement called IMS, Islamic Messaging System, okay, in Pakistan and India and all. There are 119 countries worth of Muslims coming together, but mostly from Pakistan and India, it's diasporas, right? You know why I'm talking about IMS? Because they are hungry, because they're overseas around, Western countries. They're hungry for girls and boys your age so that their kids, these age and younger, can learn Arabic. They're so greedy for Arab kids so that they can play football with boys like you, okay? And girls would just hang out with girls like you so that you would speak Arabic and they would just get mesmerized and just fascinate, they fulfill the fascination of speaking Arabic. Do you know, you're born in that language by the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal, the language of the Quran. And you have no idea how big of an asset that is. And people in IMS are going crazy in trying to train their kids to learn, to make them learn Arabic. You know why? So that they can get the Quran in their own house and read the Quran the way Allah is writing the Quran. When you open the Quran, you don't open the word of God anymore. That's not possible now. It's only for the Arabs. You read the Quran from God's perspective. The rest of the world reads it from a man's perspective because that man is writing the translation, and whatever he thinks it means becomes the word of God to the rest of the world. Do you know how big that responsibility becomes? Because only Allah Azza wa Jal wrote the Quran. No other entity can come and interfere or interject in that word, right? So when Allah Azza wa Jal writes the Quran, our God is a writer. He wrote 4 books. Yeah, he wrote 200 plus books. The Sahabi says, you know what, we know, he actually quotes on record, that I know of 104 different names of the books Allah wrote. It's only these 4 that became the Sharia, the law. These are the books that are so mandatory. So otherwise, Allah has been giving the little nations the same sort of methodology to actually come to the truth. We know these 4, right? The Torah and the Injil and Zabur, which is Psalms, which is inside the Old Testament, Psalms, okay? That's the English for Zabur. And the Quran. So when we know that the last book came in Arabic, we know that Allah is a writer. So if I write a book, I publish a book, and somebody else comes in and changes the meanings of any or some parts of the book, and everyone starts to say that, you know what, Sahil, we love your book. And I'm thinking, did you read my book or somebody's translation? Because a lot of people came in and tried to change a lot of meanings. There's a big disconnect between me, the writer, and some guy who's a fan of mine because of the book, right? So whoever actually speaks my language would know exactly what I mean when he reads my book. That's why you guys, just because of the language, not just anything else, which I'm going to build up on, by the way, which you need to get. Your own language becomes such an amazing pot of gold. It's an asset. You got to train Newcastle kids that, you know what, this is something you're going to learn from me. This is just a language. You can learn as quick as a month or a year or a couple of years. And then they're going to choose their own, speed coming into the Quran themselves. You don't need to teach them Quran. You should though, but you need to teach them Arabic.